Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go through a little lighting. We have a brand new HB80C light from Neewer. This is a RGB capable 80-watt light, and we're going to unbox the light, show you what it comes with in the kit and some of the features that it has. Full disclosure, the HB80C light that we have here today, this demo copy was sent to us by Neewer, but this is not a sponsored video, so all thoughts are my own. So what comes in the box? First up, it comes all in this amazing little carry case, which kind of looks like a little bit of a lunch bag. But it's nice that there's a carry case that you can put all your different items with, and it's pretty padded, keeps everything in there. The bag is a bit on the larger side, but it does come with a good variety of accessories. So that said, I mean, they have to fit somewhere, so not that big a deal, but just something to keep in mind. Next up in the case, you're gonna get this reflector here. The reflector is a full Bowen mount, so that's nice. You don't need any kind of adapter. You can use all your different Bowen mount accessories right on here, and it does come with this starter reflector if you just want to use a reflector. Otherwise, you can attach a parabolic umbrella like how we're filming with today, and any other Bowen mount accessories that you might have. To mount the light to your lighting stand, it does come with a posable, pretty typical lighting mount. This one has a nice little screw lock on the top, which would be often standard, but it does have little grooves in there so it locks into the base of this and doesn't lose rotation or become unscrewed very easily. So it locks in there pretty nicely. Seems well built. It is built of metal as well, so you know it's going to be long lasting. So I've seen a lot of these that actually ship plastic that you can buy on your own, so I'd rather have a metal one. Next up, you'll notice that the light is on a little stand here. This is actually a hand mount that they provide you. So it is a table stand, but you can also use this as a grip to hand hold the light, which is really cool. So easy hand grip there. The legs actually have a couple different positions. It looks like it has 4 different heights you can actually set this to. So at maximum height, it's going to stand like that, and as you lower it, it will get closer and closer to the ground until eventually it is completely flat. So you can set all the different heights as you want to, and that way you can get the different angles you want. Last but not least, the HB80C light. It is pretty portable. It's got a little bit of weight to it, so you might not want to hand hold it all day long, but it is possible to bring it portable, especially with the reflector that's included. You'll notice that the size is pretty reasonable. It basically fits the whole Bowen mount. There's not much more room outside of it, so they pretty much seem to have made the form factor to fit the Bowen mount without any need for adapter, which is nice. Then it does include a battery in it, as well as an ability to charge it externally, so you can easily plug something in. You'll notice all the different fan ports on the pretty much all sides and the giant fan port on the back. There's also an LCD on the back, which as you turn it on, will show you all the different features and modes. There are 4 different buttons: a menu, mode, a temperature and fan button, and then a dial which has up, down, and you can click in to select. And on the side there is a on-off switch and a USB-C in. On the front there is a release button for the Bowen mount, and on the bottom you will get a 1/4 screw port. So this very bright 80-watt COB light is very portable, and it's got a variety of features. So as far as color range, it can hit 2500 to 7500 Kelvin. It additionally has an RGB mode, so you can choose all the variety of colors that you want. You can control all of the different settings either using the back menu, which is pretty easy to do, or there's an ability to connect to your phone. To connect to your phone, you just need to download the Neewer app. Once you have the Neewer app installed, you just have to use the Bluetooth connection to connect to the light. Once in the app, you just need to find your light, connect to it, Then you can go and control all of the light settings, just like on the back menu, but through your phone. So you can be across the room working on a photo shoot and be able to control it by the palm of your hand, which is a lot easier than just using the back screen. So I do recommend when a light like this has the option for the app to download it. There is the option to have preset lighting modes, so we can choose daylight, tungsten, or any different mode that you want to be able to get easily the color temperature that you're looking for. A mode that I think is really cool on a light like this is the ability to source match. So it pulls up a camera mode on your app here, and you can just point it at something and have the ability to map the actual colors that you want it to project. So it's really handy on being able to match whatever lighting sources that you have or RGB colors. Obviously, you have the ability to customize all your different RGB modes. So we've got obviously red, orange, yellow, pretty much everything that you need or want. You have the ability to select the RGB values themselves or simulate gels, which is really handy. So you can go in and select preset gel colors and easily just select them and be able to get your light to match these preset gels. From the gels, they have both the Lee and the Roscoe gel system, so pretty easy to choose those if these are colors that you often use. They have a good variety of different menu items for selecting all the different color schemes that you want. So you can just pretty much explore here and work whatever way you find best to select your colors or color temperatures, which is really cool. Obviously has FX mode, which is pretty standard in RGB lights. So this is paparazzi, defective bulb, explosion, welding. So if you're doing some sort of scene, especially if you're doing video work, you can get the light to be in the background doing all your lighting effects pretty easily without getting very expensive equipment. So the RGB mode, FX modes are pretty standard across almost any RGB light you can get. So you can pretty much assume anything you've seen is available in here, from fireworks to candlelight, cop cars, and so on. So it's all available in there if that's important to you. What's really interesting is there's this FX picker mode, which allows you to basically record a scene or a visual. So you could see a lighting mode perhaps on YouTube that you think is really interesting. Use the FX picker mode, just record what you see on the screen, and it will emulate that lighting mode and RGB value perfectly. So that's actually a really interesting mode that I haven't seen before. So kudos to Neewer on that one. That one is really cool. FX music mode is a cool one I've seen on a lot of lights lately, where it detects music and can sync a you can see it's matching my voice right now. It'll basically synchronize the lighting effects to whatever music it's picking up or voice, so that's really cool, especially if you want to use it for a concert or something like that. So yeah, as far as modes, honestly, it has a lot of really cool features. The lighting looks really clean. App is very responsive. You can always use the back menu to do exactly the same thing as I showed you, so that's pretty cool. So you don't necessarily have to have that Bluetooth connection to make it work. Now, as far as actually having this on a shoot, there is an internal battery on this, as I mentioned, and it will run at 65 watts. Another cool connection mode that this has, it has the 2.4 gigahertz connection, so it can actually synchronize and work with other Neewer products that you have, such as a flash that has 2.4 gigahertz built into it. For example, I have a Z2C speedlight. All of the Neewer products that have that 2.4 gigahertz connection, you can create groups and have them actually work together, which is really cool. An interesting note about the light, there are 3 lighting modes also that you can use. There is a silent fan mode, which runs the light at 45 watts, so it runs really cool. The fan doesn't need to run, or runs very gently. and that way it maxes at 45 watts. The standard mode, normal mode, is 65 watts, which is also the maximum power you can output without plugging it in. And then there is a 80 watt mode, which is the overclocking mode, as they call it, which it runs noisier and it runs at 80 watts. You actually need to have it plugged into a power source for you to get that mode. So the device can actually take 100 watts in and it can actively charge while it's being powered. You just plug it into the USB-C. If you own something like a V-mount battery, which is really handy, and they do provide you a very long power cable, you can just set up your V-mount battery and have the light powered fully just on the go. So with a super long cable, this can actually be mounted on a stand and you don't need to have the power source directly there. Otherwise, you can have this included cable plugged into the wall if you have a power source nearby. They don't provide you with a wall charger, but I do suggest you get a 100 watt charger. I personally picked up I have both a VoltMe and an Anker 100 watt charger, and you can use the USB ports on these to charge the device very easily. So just would plug that into the wall and you're good to go. But otherwise, if you don't have a V-mount, also really handy thing to pick up, usable for a lot of different things. Yeah, you just plug it in and you're pretty much good to go, and you can run it at 80 watts if you want to. It does have the ability to also charge your devices using the internal battery. I'm not sure that's something I necessarily would use, but I guess in a pinch, if you're on a shoot, maybe at the end your phone's out of juice, you can actually use this to charge your devices, which is pretty interesting. I think probably the use case is more than likely charging your phone in an emergency scenario. Something I don't think is like a super important feature to have in a light, but it is nice to have the ability to do that if you see fit. But yeah, this is a very easy mobile setup. We actually took this with us on a shoot. We were doing a walking tour of the financial district and we had this lighting, foreground elements and people for portraits. Pretty handy. It is nice that you can set up this as a handle. We didn't actually use the V-mount because we didn't need the light that much, but it is a very handy light. As I said, you can attach all the different standard Bowen mount accessories on there and they will work just fine because it is a standard Bowen mount. So those are the main features the light have, and I do think they are pretty much everything you would need standard in a light like this in today's age. Again, has some really cool features, especially in the app, that I think are really interesting with some of the color picker modes and ability to replicate other lighting conditions. As far as build quality, it does feel very sturdy and well built, so this thing isn't going to fall apart. I do think it is pretty solid, so even if it takes a couple hits, it's going to be pretty solid. It is nice that it comes with a reflector. I'm not necessarily going to use that because we have a lot of the parabolic umbrellas and other different accessories that we prefer to use, but it is nice that it has a reflector for more of a mobile type walk. The stand is really cool and they are metal, so like a lot of the accessories they came with I think were built for durability because they know this is a product you're going to keep for a while. The back screen is a little on the small side, so I do wish that was a little larger. That's probably one of the only real issues I have with the light. It's more of a cosmetic thing, but if you're going to be using the app, it's not a big deal. And as far as the buttons, they all feel fine. Nothing really feels off or strange about it, and pretty straightforward to use. So I do like the battery life on it, the build quality, the ability to have a full Bowen mount without an adapter, which is an issue with some other lights. Has everything you need pretty much in an RGB COB light of this power, and it is in a pretty small form factor. So can't really think of anything negative to say outside of really just that back screen, wishing that was a little bigger. But other than that, it uses the space effectively. It doesn't take up too much size when you're just installing it. And yeah, you can fit this in your bag without the reflector reasonably well. No issues to report there. I know people have complained about internal batteries on lights like this in the past, where you have the ability to potentially turn on a light like this in a bag. I've never experienced something like that, but with the on-off switch like this, I don't think it's as big as a concern as some other lights that just have like a push button. You could, as just a tip, have your light intensity or light brightness down to 0%. So in the rare case your COB light ever turns on in a bag, that it won't be overheating and bright. So there you have it. This is the HB80C from Neewer. They are coming out with more of these. This is actually a pre-release model, so I'm releasing this video sometime in December 2024, and around now when you see this video launch, they should be having their pre-orders coming out. If you're watching this in the future, they should be available, so something to check out. It is priced pretty effectively, and I did see at the time I am posting this video, it is going on pre-sale with a discount. So the nice thing about Neewer is they do run sales quite often. So if you are interested in picking one of these up, I will put links down below in the caption, both for Neewer's website as well as a couple of other different affiliate websites. There you can order it. Do consider using some of the affiliate links on the channel, as it does help us create more videos. If you found this helpful, give us a like. And if you found this really helpful, hopefully you subscribe and stick around for a lot more videos like this in the future. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.